Next, any other doubts or questions? We have 6 more minutes to go. Otherwise, I will revise. I will revise the previous session just for a minute. Okay. So in the last class, I have explained about user interface or typically a web application model. In that, especially I have explained about user interface little bit. That I have explained everything in the last class in a non-technical point of view. I did not go too much technical. Maybe I think 1% technical I have used. Everything in a non-technical point of view only I have explained. Okay. See, whenever you work on any application development, you are going to typically work on user interface, business logic, and database. And so basic user interface rules in PEGA, I was about to tell you, but I'll cover it later because I have covered it generically. I'll remove this statement holder. Okay. And see, for anything that you are going to work on, there will be design phase and there will be runtime environment. Okay. So design means you can edit it. You can do anything. Suppose if this laptop is being manufactured, at the time of manufacturing, they can put any component inside it. They can remove anything. They can connect here and there. That's called designing this. Okay. Design phase means runtime means I'm using laptop, right? Now I am using laptop. So this is called runtime. During runtime, execution of everything will happen. Okay. And so whenever you wanted to work on user interface part generally, then you are going to deal with something called as controls. Something called as controls. See, every screen, every software application screen that you come across will definitely have some controls. At least labels will be there. At least labels will be, or paragraphs will be there. Paragraphs means suppose if you want to read some content, let's say blog post. All the blog posts that we read are paragraph rules, where you can write something like in a paper you will write, right? Same way. If you want to write lengthy content, you need a control called as paragraph. Without control, no web page exists. Okay, at least any one control should be there. Okay, otherwise it will be a blank white color screen. Okay, so the controls will be there on web pages, like input controls will be there, action controls will be there, just display controls can be there. Input controls means text input, radio button, drop down. These are all input controls. Then what about other type of controls where you select, but that is an input. Okay, drop down is a select control, but that is also input control. And click action controls, buttons, and then labels, buttons, label. These will not accept any input, but you will perform some action on clicking of those controls. Display type of controls means paragraphs, labels. You can also see chart. You might have seen cricket match scores, right? Sometimes they will display average scores in chart format, pie chart or graphical format they will display, right? Those are chart controls. Okay, you want to display like a graph. Okay, so that type of controls will be there. Control is the one, input control is the one which is a data holder at the user interface level, at the user interface. So in the screen, if you want to hold the data, if screen wants to hold the data, which one will hold the data? Control. Okay, whatever the data you submit, that data from user interface will move to business logic, So there should be something to hold this data at the business logic level, right? So in the UI, controls are data holders. In the business logic, variables are data holders. Okay, and the same data will go to database, and there you see tables are the data holders. Tables are the data holders. So this is typically a communication that is going to happen in a web application from UI to business logic to database, the movement of data and who holds data at what level. UI controls will hold the data, business logic, variables will hold the data. You can also call it as attribute. Database tables holds the data where you have columns and rows. Columns and rows will be there. Okay. See, if you want to create user interface, you may have to create some user interface related components, business logic components, database components. But where would you create all this? Any functional component that is required to implement some functionality in your application, it definitely will be there inside an application. That's what the definition we have discussed already. So this is a revision of previous session. Okay. So now application is a container of some components. It can be anything. That's what we discussed few days back. If you did not attend that session, no problem. You can come to know now. Application will be there. Inside it, all the components will be there. But actually, application is a top level roof. Inside application, the functional components will not be directly available. Functional components, anything you create, you have to place that inside another box called as class. So if you open application, you can see class. If you open class, then you can see the respect to whatever the functional components that you create. Okay, so that's what about class will be there. So later on we have seen, okay, so now the point is, if you would like to create something, that you must be creating inside a class. You must be placing that inside a class. That classes obviously you will be placing inside an application. But classes obviously would be placing inside an application. That is okay. We are ready with application, and we are not sure about classes. But yesterday I have shown you, when you create new application, it has created so many classes. It has created so many classes, but out of which we were focusing only on the transaction class. I will log into our application. Okay, what is our application? anz.com password rules. You log into implementation application this way. Okay, this is a revision of previous session. Please, everyone, please hold on. Anyway, if you have any doubt or something, you can ask me. So Flipkart, Amazon, WhatsApp, Instagram, no code, business process involved. See, Flipkart, Amazon are definitely, that's all about transaction processing, internal business processing is involved. WhatsApp advertising, you know, right? WhatsApp business accounts, business owners will have some cases created. They will take it forward for advertising to the respective target audience. All that is internal business processing only. Okay, so that's a kind of business process only. So I want my ad to reach out to customers, right? In other way around, it is called as marketing. It is called as marketing. Okay, you will be doing your promotion to the target audience. Okay, so here you go. Now 3 classes have been created. So many classes created, out of which we were focusing on 3 classes. These 3. Every time when you come to this application, it will load these 3 classes up. This is the place where your transaction execution will happen. So transaction execution is going to happen at the class group place. Which place? These 3 together, you call it as class group. Technically, I'll tell you what is a class group. Maybe if you want to even much better understand, not going to too much technical, you can say it as transaction class. You can easily understand, okay, that's the class where transaction will get started and it will get processed. Okay, or you may call it a work class. You can also call transaction as work class. No, in real world, always you hear these 2 terminologies. Either you'll be hearing work class terminology, or you will be hearing class group. Any one of these 2 terminology only. We will not use transaction class terminology, but that is for your better idea and understanding as a beginner. I'm just giving that. If you look at the names of these 3 classes, first class name is ANZ. ANZ is, by name, it is matching with organization name. Our organization name is also ANZ. Taking that same name, automatically the wizard has created one class called as ANZ. So as the name is matching with organization name, we are calling it as organization class. And organization structure, I have told you, right? Organization, division, unit. Unit is the place where transactions will happen. And A and Z auto I. Second one is A and Z auto I. This you can call, when you compare with organization structure, you can call it as division class, and also you can call it as mainly application class. Why application class? Any one of you tell me? Yesterday I told you. What is the reason you call this one as application class? Its name is exactly matching with the application. Whatever the application you logged in, look at here. You logged into ANZ auto insurance application, right? What is its ID? ANZ auto I. The name of the second class is exactly matching with application ID. That's why it is called as application class. Okay, next one, work class, third level below. That is name is work class. What is the meaning of work? Transaction. Work means transaction. That's why I told you. This is the class where your transactions will happen. This is unit level class. This is unit level class. Okay. This is what we have discussed yesterday. If any one of you have missed yesterday's session, I request you to go through the recorded video. You will be able to understand everything that we had discussed. Make sense? Clear, everyone? Okay. A class is a class. Class is, it's not like Java class or something. You cannot compare that now. Okay, class is the class. Classes are there in Java. These are there in Python. Classes are there in C++. Classes are there in many other programming, VB, many programming language. For you, what you need to understand is class is a kind of roof inside which you create functional elements. Inside which you create functional elements. Okay. Okay. Look at here now. So today, what are we going to discuss? Today, we are going to talk about classes and its importance and types of classes. OOPS concepts also we will get into. We'll get into OOPS concepts. First, let me talk about all this combinedly. OOPS concepts onwards, I will go. Okay. Okay. So here you go now. First, OOPS concepts. See, why do you have to go with OOPS concepts? What is OOPS concept? See, if you have a technology developed, see, Python has been developed by someone have developed a technology called as Python. Someone has developed a technology called as Java. Someone has developed a technology called as C++. When they develop their technologies, simply they don't develop it just like a free form to use. They will clearly keep certain rules and regulations to use the technology in a proper way while you are doing the development. You cannot write anything the way you want. You need to follow certain guidelines, rules, regulations that the technology compiler is going to insist you. Okay. So if I want to construct a house, can I construct the way I want? The way I want, can I construct? You cannot construct the way you want. There are certain rules and regulations that you must follow. When you want to construct a house, first thing that you need to do is have a strong foundation being built. Okay, you build some strong foundation. On top of foundation only, you are going to construct the walls. It's not like you construct the walls, on top of it you will be adding a strong foundation. It's not going to be like that. There are, for everything that you do in this world, there are certain rules and regulations that you need to follow to do this. Okay, if you follow, what will happen? Obviously you will get best results. If you are not following, definitely that will collapse. That's not going to work out. See, we are now going to discuss about a concepts called as object-oriented programming concepts. Why these concepts have been introduced? See, always the concepts will be introduced to give you better solutions with respect to reusability. Okay, again, the same concept, reusability and no redundancy. No redundancy means no repetition, no redundancy, and also what else? Cost effective, to make it cost effective. Suppose if you are going to develop or design any functional component today, tomorrow you should be able to easily enhance it. You should not have to do everything from the scratch. You should not have to do everything from the scratch. Easy to extend. Again, these things will be again coming. Okay. See, that's the advantage of following the concept. Taking the OOPS concepts. OOPS stands for Object Oriented
Programming structure.
Programming. After that,
Structure. Solution
S stands
structure.
for system. Object oriented programming system. System means what? First of all, system will have a proper structural design. Sir, no. Laptop you will also call it a system, right? It has a proper structural design. Government system. What is government system? Government, you can simply say. What is government system? System means it has been designed and defined in a systematic way. So it's a programming thing, right? But programming has been designed, again, program. I'm not talking about the programs you write. I'm talking about the language. The language will be developed, right? They will not develop in a free form way. Language developed will be developed in a systematic way. In a systematic way. So object oriented programming system. System, if you see, means definitely it will have a proper structural things. It has been properly structured, simply speak. Okay. So it has been properly structured. I want to develop a programming language. To develop your programming language also, you need to follow some structure, proper structure. That structure someone will define, or you may define. You define your own structure and plan your house. No problem. As long as it is good, your structure will be utilized by other people. You might have seen many times some architectural design structures that we create will be inherited, will be taken by other countries. Similarly, other countries' structures we will take and we will try to build here. Yes or no? So some systematic design, suppose how to control pollution. What is been followed in some other country, same system we may take and we may apply here, right? That may or may not be working out, but first we can apply just to see. So if a system is really working fine, that system can be adopted by many people. Okay. So I want to develop one technology. Okay. I want to develop my technology name as simply any name. Let's say it is H. My technology name is H. Simply C language, like language name is H. When I develop a technology, I must be following certain proper systematic design for the technology. So that particular design will be provided by object-oriented programming system. Object-oriented programming system is going to give you an architectural design that has to be followed by the technology, not by programmers. Okay, by technology. You want to come up creating your own programming language. You want to develop a programming language. While developing the programming language, you can utilize this object-oriented programming system. Why do you utilize a system that is already existing? The reason is you may get some advantages. There may be some advantages. We will be talking about all those things. See, in an object-oriented programming system, okay, there are certain concepts. I am going to I'm mentioning only two concepts as of now. Remaining will be covered later in future. First concept is called as encapsulation. What is the meaning of concept? Means what? Concept means what is the meaning of concept? What's the
Collection of
meaning of concept?
ideas.
You know, see, if he is a movie writer, he will say, I have a concept, sir. We can make a movie? Can you please give me some time? I'll explain you that concept. That's called story. Concept is something which has not been taken into reality. It doesn't exist in the real world. It is there in your mind. Suppose it is there as a plan. Okay, then you make it as a real one. Okay, so concept is something which is being told as it's a kind of imagination, whatever that you have. So you can bring it into reality or not. You can bring it. So encapsulation is a concept. It's not a real one. So what is encapsulation? So encapsulation is a kind of, it's like grouping of components. So encapsulation is a unit structure. It's a unit structure, or you can say, yeah, it's a unit structure. It's a grouping of components. Okay. So what will happen here in the encapsulation? Okay, we'll see. See, for example, it's an encapsulation is a unit structure. It's a grouping of components. So this encapsulated unit will take an input, will take an input and produces an output, result. As a result will be output. Input means anything that you provide to the system. Output means anything that you get out of the system. See, obviously, if you are going to develop anything, it may be hardware, it may be software, functional components will be there for sure, right? These functional components you have to place inside a unit structure. That unit structure, they have named it as encapsulation. Okay, encapsulation is unit structure. It's a grouping of components. This is like a cover, I can say. It's like a cover. I can say it's like a cover, which will cover some components. Okay, it acts as a cover. This encapsulated unit will take an input and produces an output. What is the example of this encapsulation? Example can be anything that you see in your day-to-day life. Example is laptop. Overall laptop, whatever I see is a cover, which is covering. What is it covering? Some functional components, right? Inside laptop, what are there? Motherboard, processor, hard disk, RAM, so many other peripherals are available. Okay, and overall the behavior of laptop, you are experiencing it with cover only. Overall, you are experiencing it like an encapsulated unit structure only. You're not experiencing it like motherboard. You're not experiencing it like processor. You're not experiencing it like RAM or something. So overall, you are experiencing it like encapsulated unit called as laptop. If I ask you what is this, you will not say it is a combination of all the definitions. You will not say. You will say simply this is a laptop. Okay, so encapsulated, anything that you want to create, all the functional components that you want to create, you must enclose it. Don't create it outside. Enclose everything, connect one to another. So enclosing all the components is called as a concept of encapsulation. Encapsulate, capsule, you know, right? So capsule will have so many chemical compositions. All the chemical compositions are being kept inside one, this thing called, you call it as capsule. That's called tablet, medicine, whatever it is. Okay, that's called encapsulation. This encapsulated unit only will produce a proper and a specific output result. So when we have to provide input to it, and we are the person, so we are a human being, we are encapsulated unit. You are a person, encapsulated unit. Inside you, there are so many functional components, right? Heart, lungs, kidney, so many things, eyes, everything that is being, all are connected to each other. Collectively, all these work together. Overall, I'm going to say that you have done something. I'm not going to say that your eyes have done something, or your heart has done something, your kidneys have done something. But all those are going to get function inside. Overall, the outside, whatever you see encapsulated unit, that is going to produce some behavior. So we take the input of food, we get the output as energy. Okay, when you are going to intake some food items, what is the output result? You are going to get it as energy. Okay, so you give input to the system is going to process it. The system is going to process it, and it is going to produce a desired output result, whatever that you are expecting probably. Okay, so that's why. So whenever in a programming language, whenever you want to implement or develop any functional components, that may be UI, that may be business logic, that may be database, any functional components that you want to process, that you want those are meant for processing something, then all the components should be placed inside a box or inside a cover all these things. That unit is called as encapsulated unit, and the concept is called as, overall concept is called as encapsulation. Understand? So
Yes.
taking the object-oriented programming system, if I take object-oriented programming system, if I develop my programming language, I'm developing a programming language. For this, the base structure I'm going to use, language structure I'm going to use object-oriented programming system. Then my language should have encapsulation being implemented. If I say I have taken some model that has been developed by someone, means I will be making it in the real world. The model I will take, I will create a real world thing, right? So if I have encapsulation concept in my technology, in my programming language, then what do you call it? You can call directly encapsulation, or you can rename it the way you want. they renamed it called as class. They renamed it called as class. I told you, right? Class is like a roof. Class is like a box inside which you place all the components. Yes or no? So class is executable. Class is executable. You give input to the class, class will send you output. Class is a terminology used in the technology. Java, C++, Python, VB, C#. Everywhere you call class, class, class. Inside class, you create anything, whatever you want. Okay, you place all the components inside class. The class is a terminology used by technologists, but equivalent to the class in a concept-oriented way, it is called as encapsulation. So whatever the word you are using, encapsulation and class, both are same. There is no difference. But at a concept level, you are calling it as encapsulation. When you make it real in a programming language, you are calling it as class. Understand clear, everyone? Okay. So you have plan. Plan is a concept. Plan, when you make it in the real world, what do you call? You call it as a house. Okay. House is already there on the paper also, right? But you are not calling it as a house. You're calling it as a plan. Okay. That plan, you make it into a real world. Then you're calling it as house. So this is a plan provided to you, which you can implement in your programming to develop your programming language. While developing your programming language, then that is said to be class. Okay. So everyone clear with this concept of encapsulation? So in PEGA, you see classes. Why you see classes in PEGA? The reason is very simple. PEGA rules process commander engine has been developed by using Java language. As Java, everything is classes. PEGA also will have classes. PEGA also will have classes. Only difference is there you write programming. Here you do everything navigations. Okay. So everyone clear about encapsulation and class? Both are same or different? Both are
Class have
same.
concept of encapsulation.
Yeah, both are same, but encapsulation is a concept. Reality of that in a programming language is said to be class.
Yes.
No. So you are going to deal with classes when you are working, when you are practicing. Before you create anything, first you create class. Then only you can create inside class. Okay, without creating class, you cannot create anything inside that. Okay. Okay. How many classes can be created in an application? See, application is the one which contains a class. Class contains functional components. If you take one business, take a business of banking, take a business of banking. I am going to explain about inheritance concept now. Okay, we are going to jump on to inheritance concept. Okay, see, you take a bank as an application. See, what are the different departments? I'm going to explain you the concept of inheritance as well as class. In that, classes also will come into picture in the real world. Bank as a entity, as a physical entity, you know. What are the different departments that you can come across in a bank? Tell me. What are different departments? First
Loan.
thing is banking. Banking department means money transaction. Everything related to money transfer, money deposit, something like this. We call it as banking department. Account creation also. Your account opening, everything comes under banking department. Okay, I'll write down DEPT just to give you a better understanding. That's a department. Next, loan. You said loans
Loan
department.
department.
And what else? Insurance department, you said. Okay, these are three enough for now. Tell me any other department which doesn't deal with business processing, but involves in the processing, but doesn't really responsible for initiating any specific kind of transaction.
Customer
Yes, please.
service.
Customer service also will take care of providing some service, means they are doing some processing. I'll tell you. Verification. Let's consider it as verification. Verification
Admin
department will be there. Verification department will be there or will not be there. So
Yes.
for verification of documents, address, so many other things, there will be a separate department. 4 departments enough. 4 departments are there. You need to understand one thing. Each department here is going to accept some input, some documents it will accept. It will do some processing. Finally, it will provide you some output result SR. So banking department, it will take money from you. It will process it to add into your account. Finally, it will give you total balance. Or it is going to process something, take inputs from you, process something and give you output of money. Cash will be given to you. Okay, something like that. Or it will take money from you, process it and send it to someone else. Whatever it is, banking. will take data from you, create your account. Okay, as a new customer. Loans department, collect all the documents, process the loan, and give you money. Insurance department, collect all the documents, process it, and collect the premium, and just do processing accordingly. And verification department, collect all the necessary documents, data, everything. Go for verification, give an output result of verified properly, successfully, or verification failed, something like that, right? Each department is definitely going to do some task. So here, every department in the real world, you consider bank as an application. Bank is a roof, right? It's an application. Each department inside this is a class. Each department inside bank is called as class. Bank as a whole structure, consider it as an application. Inside that, so many departments are there. Though each department is a class, inside the department, processing will be done. Each department will accept something. There are functional components executed, and it will be processed, and final output result will be given to you. Clear? Now, my question is, I'm going to ask you a question. What is the necessity to have these many departments being set up? Everything as a single department, can I not process banking things, loans, insurance, verification, everything? Why should I have been organized or structured to have different departments? Why not everything as a single department and everyone will be doing all the tasks? Why banks are, why an organization is going to have everything being divided like this into departments? What's the reason for this?
Easy to manage the data.
Easy to manage. So when you have this type of separation structure, easy to manage, okay, and easy to troubleshoot also, easy to enhance as well, easy to enhance, okay, and like
Processing is
everything
easy.
at one place means what will happen? Simple example, I already told you. Okay, you have a cupboard, okay, so inside that you are going to place your dresses. So party wear, ethnic wear, regular wear, and your office wear. Everything if you are throwing at one place, finally whatever you want, you can take it out for sure. But there will be a difficult. There will be a you find it difficult to take out. But if you organize properly, okay, inside the cupboard, this rack one is for ethnic wear. Rack 2, it is for professional wear. Rack 3, it is for regular outfits. Rack 4, it is for some other party wear like that. What is the advantage now? You can easily identify, easy to maintain, easy to manage, easy to maintain, and everything is easy. That's why everywhere in this world, wherever you see, whatever the business you see, the business is going to be properly structured to have divided into different departments where each department is going to involve in processing some specific things. Yes or no? Okay, now from this what you came to know is, if you set up your business, then definitely you come up with a proper structure for it, okay, in order to make it easy to maintain, easy to extend, and all those things. So that means if each one is a class, it's not that you are going to have a single class in your application. You will create so many classes. You will create so many classes. So how do you come to know how many classes to be created? Okay, listen to me carefully. Business first or software application first? Which one is first? Business setup running is first, or software application setup running is first? Which one is first?
Business.
Hmm?
Business.
First you create application, then you start business?
No. First
Or
business,
first
then
you do
application.
business and based on your business you create application?
First business, then application.
First you start a business, set up it physically, then business is running, then applications came into picture. Okay, first you do not go with application. First you know your business structure, then only you create application. Your applications are, whatever the software applications you create, these are exact copy paste of the physical presence of your business and its processing. Nothing beyond that. Whatever is happening in the physical presence of your business, whatever is being processed, the same you digitalize by using some software technology that you're calling it as application. So whenever you are creating an application, how many classes to be created in that, you will come to know based on how many departments are there in my physical business. In my physical business, I have 5 departments. In my software application, how many classes I will create? 5
At least
classes.
5.
Each class is going to resemble one department in the business. So as a technology developer, It's not that you are going to only know about technology, only learn about technology. You must also know about business. Know the business, learn the technology, apply the technology to implement your business. It should have to have the same structure as it is physical, as it is existing in the physical world. Understand clear, everyone? Online, everyone clear? So if I create application, I'm not going to create only one class. I'll come up with so many classes. Okay. There are many classes. Okay. Banking department will do banking related processing, loans department, insurance department, verification department. Now, out of all these four, banking department is going to initiate a transaction. Yes or no? A transaction will be initiated at banking department. What type of transactions will be initiated? Deposit, withdraw, so many different transactions, right? Loans department, what type of transactions will be initiated? Loan transaction. Insurance department, insurance, any type of, okay, let's say insurance transaction, one insurance. Verification department, will there be any transaction gets initiated at verification department?
No.
No transactions will, kickstarting will not happen at verification department, but some sort of processing will be done at
Yes.
some point in time. Maybe a transaction has started somewhere at some other department, it came to our department, we need to do process something and give it back. Yes or no? Means I should have some functional components, right? I'm participating in between somewhere. So this department is a common department for banking, loans, insurance. Yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes.
It can be a
Yes.
common one, right? So banking department can reach out to verification to utilize its functional components. Loans department can reach out to verification to utilize its functional components. Similarly, insurance department. So we have in the real world, we have some departments which are not going to participate in initiating a transaction. Listen to me carefully. I'm not saying transaction participation. Initiating, kickstart will not happen at that place. Okay. Initiating transaction cannot be done at verification department. It is not meant for that at all. But these departments can hold common components, can have some common components that can be utilized by many other departments. So now in the real world, there is a need that one department wants to access the functional features that are available at other departments. In the reality, the need is there or not there? Then how do you achieve the same in the technology? So considering the real world, exactly how it functions in real world, same I need to design or develop using my technology. Yes or no? So I have been provided with some technology, Java, Python, C++, VB or C#. Now this technology should have the ability to provide something which can be done in the real world. If the ability is not there, are you going to purchase the technology? Some technologies will not be suitable for some type of businesses. You might be knowing that, right? So this is a feature where accessing the functional components from one department to another department. This accessibility should be allowed. This concept is called as inheritance. This concept is called as authorization. Authority is there to access. Simple example of inheritance is, apart from this, our family relations, like parents, children. Let's say father, child. Okay. Son can access the property of father, yes or no? Daughter can access the property of father, yes or no? A child can access the property of parent. So this is called inherit. Why you can access? You are being inherited. You are being inherited from your parents. You have authority to access it, right? So, and the outside family persons cannot come to our family and access our property. It's not possible, right? It's not possible. When there is a relation between entities, then only it is possible. What is that relation you are calling it as? Inheritance relation. So inheritance is a relation defined between two classes, where, let's say I'm writing simply, class 1 or class 2 inherits from class 1. then class 2 can access the features of class 1, where class 1 is said to be parent class. What is it said to be? Parent class. And class 2
Child
is
class.
said to be child class. See, here I am not going to simply tell you about what is inheritance. If I have to tell you what is inheritance is a relationship defined between two classes. Okay, one class you will inherit from another class. It's called as child class. The above one is called as parent class. Child can access the features of parent. It's not simply that. Why inheritance? Why the technology has inheritance? What is the reason technology developers have come up with this feature? Why they have given this feature? The reason is, in the real world, there will be a need that one department may want to access the features of another department. Same feasibility I should provide in the technology also. That's why inheritance concept has been implemented. You understand? That's the reason why I have taken this much time. So in the real world, one department wants to access the features of another department. So that's the reason why you have inheritance concept. So in order to access the functional features of one class into another class, what type of relation you define between the classes? Inheritance relation. Okay, I did not define inheritance relation between two classes. Is it possible to access the components of one to another? No, it's not possible. As long as same application, two classes belongs to same application. Within one application, I have two classes, but I did not define any relation between two classes. Then can I access? No. I cannot access. Between classes, unless there is an inheritance relation defined, components of one class cannot be accessed to another class unless you define it. So, banking department inherits or not? Inherits from
Verification department.
verification department. Inherits from verification department. Second one, loan department inherits from
Verification
department. Third one, insurance department inherits from
Verification department.
This is how you come up designing your classes in your application. Okay, so if I tell you this is my system, can you please create an application? So straight away I'll go and create one application. Done. In the application I have to create classes. 4 departments. I'll create 4 classes. But first I have to create verification class. First I will create verification class. Done. Second I will create banking department. While creating, I will define relation between the classes. So create class banking department inherits from verification department. Simply just to make you better understand that. Okay, I'm saying like this. So in PEGA, you will not do like anything like written text or something. You will be doing everything by navigation. So everyone clear? So this is how. See, always parent classes you represent at the top. Parent classes will be at the top. Child classes will be at the bottom. So draw your family structure as a tree structure. You will be at the bottom. Yes or no? And your father's father will be at the top level. Yes, same thing. How our family structure is there, same way you'll get in the inheritance structure also, the classes. Instead of persons, you include classes. Instead of departments, you include classes. Everyone clear about the concept, encapsulation and inheritance? Every one of you.
Yes.
Okay, I'll add a little bit more about inheritance. Okay, now look at here. See, in the inheritance concept, technology has certain restrictions. That is, a child class can access the features of parent, but not vice versa. But not vice versa. Okay, I'll add that point. A child class can access the features of parent class, but not vice versa. But not vice versa. Make sense? Clear, everyone? Reverse is not possible. See, inheritance can be inheritance can exist in multiple levels. That is possible. Simply like our family structure: grandfather, father, son. You are a son. Okay, you have father. Your father has father. Are you allowed to access the property of your father's father? Allowed or not allowed? Are you getting the property of your father's father to you?
Yes.
It's not only your father's father, you are getting it since many generations. Yes or no? Many generations onwards, the money is coming to you, generally speaking. Okay. This is same thing. Class 1, class 2, class 3. Class 2 inheriting from class 1. Class 3 inheriting from 2. 3 can access 2 as well as 1. 3 can access 2 as well as 1. So very bottom level, very bottom class can access all the top classes, all the top classes, all the top classes. A, okay. B inherits from A, inherits from A. I'm sorry, I'll just, okay, I'll write down like this. Class A, okay, class B, here, class A, simply. Okay, just like that I'm right. Now, similarly, if I define one more level, class C inherits from class B.
A and B.
Here, class C can access
Class A and B.
the features of class B
And
as well as
Class A.
class A. Many of you, I know, you know these things you have studied in your college. Okay, but still why I'm explaining is this is very, very important when you are working on PEGA. Okay, you should clearly identify the appropriate positioning of component. Whether if you're creating a component, you should create in the child class or you should create in parent class. Always confusion. Okay. So for that to clearly understand, there are two ways. One shortcut is there, one main thing is there. Always one thing is you need to know the real world business. You know the real business, then easy when you are working with technology. You do not know real business, then it is difficult while you are working with technology. Understand clear everyone? So that's what. See, when you are learning, you always try to correlate your technology, whatever you are doing, try to correlate with some business that you see outside, at least with your family. Okay, correlate with your family. Okay, my father has money, I can take it. I can take it or not. Okay, and someone else who is not related, you cannot take, obviously. That's how you can easily understand the technology. Okay, so we are going to use the concept of inheritance when we are going to work on PEGA. Definitely. What are the advantages of doing like this? Why do you have to go for inheritance concept? What is the reason? So I told you, in the physical world it exists like this. Technology should have the same ability. Okay, so inheritance concept came into picture. What are the advantages of having this inheritance? Okay, see, class A is there, class BC are there. BC are okay. Father, two children are there. Two children can access the property of father.